Hi, my name is John Brush, and I serve as an elder here in the Broward Church. And today, we're going to talk about Matthew 28, 1 through 10, verses 1 through 10. And it says, "After the Sabbath, at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. There was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him that they shook and became like dead men. And the angel said to the women, 'Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him, and now I have told you.' So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid, yet filled with joy, and ran to tell his disciples. And suddenly Jesus met them. 'Greetings,' he said. And they came to him, clasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, 'Do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me.'" As we face this COVID-19 crisis, some of the saddest stories that we hear are the ones where people died and their family and friends could not be with them when they died or even have a funeral. They could not say goodbye. They could not tell them how much they loved them. And spouses and children and close friends all feel as if they were not able to express their gratitude, their love during this time when this person dying needed them the most. And it's so sad to see all this going on. And it was the same at the scene of the death of Jesus. Here he was being executed unrighteously as a traitor, as someone who incited riots, and he was now being crucified for something he did not do. And yet his followers, which included several women and that included his mother, were able to stand at the foot of the cross. But when he died, they were not able to go with him. All they could do was watch Pilate give his body to Joseph of Arimathea and to Nicodemus to go lay him hastily in a tomb that Joseph owned. All these women could do was watch from afar and see where he was laid, because the Sabbath was coming. This was the day of preparation. They could not honor him. They could not express their sorrow, and they could not do what was needed to really show the world how much he meant to them. And the Bible doesn't tell us much about these women or anyone else, how they reacted on the Saturday, the day after the death. We don't know if they had a grief that drove them to retreat. We do not know what kind of questions they asked themselves. Were they asking the questions like, how could this happen? Why did this happen? How could God allow his teacher to be crucified when he was the most loving and most caring and most authoritative teacher they have ever known? So we don't know exactly what they did, except it says they were preparing spices to anoint him in the burial. In other words, they were determined to honor him no matter what the consequences it would be for their lives. And that they waited until the end of the Sabbath. And early the next morning, it says at sunrise, they got up to go to the tomb, expecting to meet soldiers, expecting to have to defend themselves. We don't know exactly what they were planning. All we know is that they wanted to honor Jesus and pay tribute to him as he deserved. And yet when they arrived at the tomb, and they found the unexpected. Instead of great sadness, they found great joy. And instead of finding death, they found the hope of a resurrected life. And they didn't know what to do with it. All they knew is that they were told to go tell everyone else what had happened. And then on their way, they met Jesus in the garden, and they didn't even know exactly who he was, but they were so excited to see that he had been raised from the dead. And it brings us great honor, and it gives us great comfort to know that if we are willing to honor Jesus, that he can work the same way in our lives. Instead of the expected, instead of the sadness of life, we can have the joy of a resurrected life, knowing that God loves each one of us and wants to help each one of us as we serve him.